everyone, my name is Jessica Walker and joining me now I have Robert from CrescoFin, joining me from Geneva. Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, Jessica. How are you?
I'm great, and what an exciting time to be having this call, November 2020. This is our second interview that we've done, and this is a little bit more interesting because we're seeing huge price action right now. I think everyone is glued to their screen, as you mentioned earlier. How are you finding this exciting time to be in crypto?
Well, it's hard to sleep, right? Because you tell yourself like, don't look at your screen all the time. Don't look at your screen all the time. But I can't help it, right? Like, I mean, Bitcoin's going up, ETH is going up, crypto broadly is going up, stock market's up. I mean, we're preparing to, list our equity tokens. And honestly, it's a big distraction because I keep looking at the price action.
And this is what I wanted to pick your brains out and ask you a little bit more, because we're seeing that more people are inquisitive about crypto now more than ever, and rightly so. And I wanted to ask you about CrescoFin, which is what we're going to be talking about today, which is a project that you're working on and you've been very heavily integrated with. So for some of our viewers that are watching at the moment, can you give us a little bit of context to CrescoFin?
Sure. Well, Jessica, it's actually really simple. It's an alternative to a bank. Our idea is to replace banking with code. I mean, nobody likes their bank. I mean, you don't get very much you don't get very much from your bank. So what we thought is, it was a couple of years ago, we had our money in the bank here in Switzerland, and we never got very much for our, on our savings. And then interest rates went negative. Like, you can't imagine, like, nobody likes going to the bank. And here we actually had to pay to have our money in the bank. So we came up with an alternative to use for ourselves.
And this is really interesting because like you've said, it's similar to a bank, but there's different benefits. And one is, you said, on the chain. So for people that are watching that might not be so familiar with blockchain or cryptocurrencies, what does on the chain, what does it mean?
Well, it's been a long time since people thought that banks might be replaced. It was the mid-90s that Bill Gates said banks are dinosaurs. And we think the same, but only crypto has really enabled, I think, us to compete with banks. And so what we do essentially is we create an insured savings account on chain. So it's available in stable coins. It's also available in the real world. Like, it's available in traditional currencies like, US dollars, euros, and Swiss francs.
And you know what I find really interesting about this is this concept of interest. And I remember when I was younger, and if your grandmother gives you kind of a sum of, say, £500, for me, I was from the UK, and then once every year or so, I was able to withdraw maybe 10 or 15 sterling pounds of interest, and I'd be able to buy a CD. So for me, I really resonated with the benefit of interest when I was younger. And now this is a concept which people aren't reaping the benefits of from traditional financial systems. So talk us through the interest that is offered from CrescoFin.
Well, Jessica, you're really dating yourself if you remember a time when you could actually live off of interest or enjoy something off of interest. But that's the reason we created it. I mean, it should be like that. Like, in the real economy, banks lend money, they do financing, and you just need to look at them, like, they do pretty well, right? Like, banks make a lot of money. And so our idea was to use crypto to cut out the bank. So our view is that banks suck. And if you cut the bank out, essentially what you get is you get a much higher rate of interest for savers, for depositors. And that's our real raison d'etre. That's why we set this up. It's to help savers. It's to take back essentially what you just talked about, like that memory that you could actually, put your money in a bank, or for us, a bank alternative, and live off of it. Like, actually get some interest on it.
So there's the interest element there, and you're right, I was showing my age a little bit, maybe.
You don't look like it, happily, though.
Thanks. And you've also got concepts when it comes to equity tokens as well. Talk us through this element of CrescoFin, because this is also a really fascinating one.
So what we're offering now is essentially our equity token, like you say, and it's matched 1-to-1 with the shares of our company. So we're a regulated Swiss company. It's the first regulated company to offer equity tokens in crypto. We love DeFi. We're moving to be as decentralized as we can. The core product is very simple. We want to disrupt deposit banking, and the market size is enormous. I mean, the market size is $60.5 trillion, according to the Bank for International Settlements last year. So it's a big market. It's a big project.
It sounds like a big project. It sounds like it's been a really busy one as well. Is there quite a big team behind you all? Are you all based in Switzerland, or are you distributed around Europe or even the world?
So we are, but we are a bit distributed. You know, we're based here in Geneva. We have an office in London. We're opening in Singapore and Hong Kong, and we've hired people for those places. So, you know, it turns out that there's a lot of interest for making your money work harder for you. And so whether it's institutions or individuals, we've been really happy with it. You know, my partner and I did it for ourselves. I mean, we set it up to use on our own. So we're a team of about 20 people. We are distributed. We have like, you know, there's a lot of people here in Geneva because we're regulated. So we have a chief legal officer. We have like, you know, all of our coders are here, but we have, not all of them, but we have other coders. For example, our head coder, Tatiana, is in Belarus. Our head designer, Galina, is in Moscow, you know, so yeah, our idea is to be like crypto. It's to be, you know, as diffuse as we can.
And this also becomes into another element of the benefit of modern day kind of DeFi banking compared to traditional, because people do relocate and they do move around so much. So having such an international core team based in different geographical locations obviously has its benefit as well, because for the user then you can really understand and relate to the fact that people don't stay in the same place at one time, and make it more user friendly. So now if we move on to the listing side of things, I'd love to see about, you know, where people can get involved, where they can see more. Will you be listing anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, that's our plan. But before I get to that, I just love to touch on the global aspect of it, because the only way you can really compete with banks is crypto. So in other areas, like to be a fintech or to be a neobank or things like that, you've got to be in that jurisdiction. And there's such a moat that is built around the banking guild. You know, we thought to ourselves, like, how can we really compete with banks? And the best way to do it is crypto. So, you know, we talked to some of the people that we thought were amazing in the space, and we're really delighted that we're in partnership with Aave, which is a money market in crypto. So Stani from Aave has joined our board of advisors, and we're building a money market on Aave. It's secured by Chainlink data. So, I mean, and they're a partner, you know. So it's really pretty exciting. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to grow a community globally, because to be honest, like our idea was to be a bridge between traditional finance and crypto. So our users are mainly traditional financial institutions, but who want a higher return. And those are the people who are coming to crypto. I mean, it's really going to transform the space. I mean, you'd be shocked the number of people that I talk to who wear suits and ties and are really up to speed with crypto, because they're forced to be. It's been a decade of a war on savers, and they're looking for alternatives. And the only alternative that's really any good is crypto. So we're going to offer our shares to people globally, you know, in the form of equity tokens. It's the first time it's ever been done. You know, we love DeFi, so we're trying to be really DeFi about it, even though, you know, we have to be honest, our company is more centralized than we want. And we are moving to community governance. We've moved a bunch of rights to the voting contract, and Stani's been a great help, but we're gonna offer these shares on the DODO exchange, and that's gonna be in USDT. And then right afterwards, we're offering it on Balancer. So, and that's gonna be in DAI and ETH. So it's really exciting, and it happens next week.
Fantastic. Well, you should be excited. You've got some great names on board there with Aave and Chainlink as well, Robert. So huge congratulations there. So finally, for anyone that is watching that does want to, you know, hear more, get involved potentially. You said you're starting next week. So on the bridge for early December as well and late November, where can people go to find out some more information?
So we've got a great website set up. It's defi.crescofin.ch. So it's going to appear at the end of this. I think we'll put a few details of how to reach us on Twitter and on Discord and stuff like that. And we've got a few articles that we've written. You know, there's stuff on Medium that's interesting. Also, the Bankless guys, Ryan, Sean Adams, and David Hoffman are working with us. I mean, we're really tangibly trying to make the world bankless. I mean, that's the goal, without realizing how many people will be excited to join us in that mission. Because, you know, Jessica, nobody likes banks. People prefer to have, like, you know, whatever they get from their grandmothers, they put in the bank. They prefer to have that earn something rather than that money to be working for the bank.
No, I completely agree, and the possibilities really sound endless, and I'm sure a lot of people will be following up after this conversation. Robert, thank you so much. It's always great to catch up, and I was really pleased that you were able to share some of what you're working on. So best of luck with it, and I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah, thanks, Jessica. It's really cool to talk to you.
Thank you so much. And like Robert said, if you do want to find out some more information, be sure to go to CrescoFin on Twitter for some more information and updates, and also some video snippets also.